Here we have graph 2. I'm just going to go ahead and do all the angles for you. I told you I'd only do 1 or 2 of them. I'm going to go ahead and do them all so you can see how we get these. What I have is it says A and B are parallel. Then you have C is the transversal. Where this transversal hits right here on A, it forms 120 degrees. The nice thing is we have 7 missing angles here. We're going to be able to figure them all out knowing that A and B are parallel. And we have this nice transversal coming down through here. Well, the first thing we're going to do is we see 120 degrees. When I see the 120, I know the guy right beside it called its linear pair is they're going to have to add up to 180. Because if you got 120, well, I know all the way open is 180. So that means 60 is left here in order to form that 180 degree straight line we have on A. Now I could do the same thing on this C as a straight line, the 60, and this is going to have to be 120 to form 180 degrees on the straight line of C. Or I just notice, hey, that 120 is there, its vertical angles right here is 120. Now, if that's 60 in that corner, as these two lines come back through right here, this is going to be 60, that's its vertical angle. Or again, you could use A as a straight line, so it's swung open 120, so it has 160 to go. You went 120, so you got 60 more to go right here. That should be easy. That shouldn't be a problem for us. Now the nice thing is, what we're going to do is we can take all these guys right here on this parallel line, slide them down the transversal to the other parallel line, and the angles will be exactly the same. The top left corner will be the same as the top left corner up here. Again, you take them and you slide them down the transversal. Don't slide them on the parallel line. You don't slide them down this way to something else or that way. You slide them down this transversal C from the one parallel line to the other parallel line. So basically, you're going to slide down. That's going to be 120. Top right's going to be 60. This right here is going to be 120. And then bottom left is 60. So this bottom left is 60. Notice they're exactly the same on the other parallel line. So often I have people slide it the wrong way. You've got to slide down the transversal. Now, as we've talked before, this 60, this 60. You got to remember the name of those. I like to call it the Z-Meister. You can see the Z this way. They're always going to be the same if the lines are parallel. Okay. These, since they're on the interior and on alternate sides, we call those alternate interiors. These, sliding down here, we call the 120 here to the 120 here. Those are corresponding angles. 60 corresponds down here to that 60. This 120 corresponds to that 120. This 60 here corresponds to that 60. Those are corresponding angles. Now, people that are on the same side of the transversal and on the interior, we call these consecutive interior angles. And consecutive interior angles always wind up to 180 if the two lines are parallel. So we do have names for these things. We also could say this exterior angle, see, interior angles are on the inside, the interior of the parallel lines. So these guys are on the exterior. This 120 and this guy down here on alternate exterior angles, and those will always be equal also. So we have a bunch of names, but what I want is just for, if I give you an angle, you can find all the other angles in the situation or in the picture. And here it was very simple to do. You filled them in, and then you slid them down the transversal to the other parallel line. There you have it. Graph number 2 for you from homework.